what's going to be? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, bringing you one of my favorite, if not my favorite guest of all time. Yeah, it's my favorite guest of all time. The only person to ever come on the show at this point in time, 5 different times. This guy was my second guest ever. And every single year, this band's momentum just keeps rolling and rolling and growing and growing. And in 2022, it kept going even more. So in 2023, what can we expect? Even bigger things. Before we get going, though, thank our sponsor, which is Phoenix Fitness. Yes, we are in the middle of January already. Yes, concert season's going to be coming up before you know it. And you want to make sure that you are mosh pit fit. Yeah, I said mosh pit fit. You guys know I'm going with that. You guys know me. Every time I go to a show, if there's a mosh pit, I am jumping in there. I'm giving it my all, and I am not leaving until the set is over. So I got to make sure I hit the gym constantly, lift a lot of weights, do a lot of cardio. But I got to make sure I also prepare and recover correctly so that I can continue to do this stuff on a day in and day out basis. That's where Phoenix Fitness comes in to help you achieve your fitness goals, but be prepare and recover right. They have different supplements like different pre-workouts, both stim and stim-free. I use the stim-free stuff because, well, I've got more than enough energy as it is. I don't need any more. I already got this stuff covered. They also have different B-cell recovery compounds for directly after your workout. They also have different protein powders with whey protein, which is the one that I use. They have collagen protein, plant-based protein, different flavors as well. Creatines, multivitamins, literally anything you might need to achieve your fitness goals, Phoenix Fitness has for you. So the Chord Progression Podcast listeners, that's you. You can get 20% off using the code CPP20 at fnxfit.com. Link is in the description of the podcast, so go check that out. Now, time for the feature presentation. Jonathan Norris from Kingdom Collapse is back once again. The band had a gigantic 2022. We go after it. We go through it all. We go through the 162 days that they played shows throughout the entire year. That is absolutely insane. Some of the different things that had happened to them, some of the different moves they had to make, and we also preview 2023, which includes potentially bigger tours, confirmed festival days? The new album? Yeah, get ready. Are you ready? I sure as hell am. Let's go! Yeah! Well, ladies and boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, who probably is my favorite guest of all time, is back on the podcast once again for what I believe is either his 5th time on the podcast. Only member of the 5 Timers Club. SNL, you should have this guy host if he's the 5 Timers Club of the Chord Progression Podcast. Woo! From the Sirius XM Independent Media Octane, like Darling, like there's the channel. Yeah, these guys are all over that place with 2 songs that came out in 2022, Save Me For Myself and Break Free. Plus, they went on multiple tours this year in 2022 with From Ashes to New, Attack, and their own headlining run. So, holy shit, these guys are blowing up like crazy like they have been every single time we've had the podcast. So let's talk about it. So please welcome back Jonathan Norris from Kingdom Collapse. Jonathan, welcome back, my friend.
Hell yeah, man. It's always a blast being on here and kind of updating the world on everything Kingdom Collapse,
Absolutely.
Before the new year. So,
well, let's get going right into it. I mean, you guys had one hell of a year, especially on the road. Because, like I said, you guys had 3 major tours. The one From Ashes to New, the one with Attack, and your own headlining run. I mean, that's just crazy in itself with all 3 of those. So how did they all pan out and how they all turn out from one to the next? Because it's still big, From Ashes to New, seeing how big they've been going. The return of Attack, and then you guys headlining your own run. What?
Dude. Yeah, this year, well, first off, 2022, we played 162 shows. 162 dates. Toured the country 3-4 times over. You know what I mean? So, like, we starting in January, we had a run with Hinder, and then we geared up to release Save Me For Myself. So in between there, we shot a video, then went out on tour with From Ashes to New, Fire from the Gods, Blind Channel, Above Snakes. It was a badass tour for 2 months. We were out, from February, March, April area. And then after that, came home. That's when I wrote Break Free. and another one that's unreleased. And then went back out with Adelita's Way, and that was in May and June, I believe. Then we had 3 days off and started the Red Jumpsuit Tour with Attack Attack. Then had another maybe a week off, and then started a tour with Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Then got home and had maybe 4 days off, and then went to go play with Nothing More in Albuquerque. And then we were driving home. So we played on a Tuesday. I'll never forget this. So we played on a Tuesday, woke up Wednesday morning, we're driving, and we get halfway home to San Antonio, and our agent calls and he's like, "Where are y'all?" And we're like, almost home, like a 12, 13-hour drive. We only had maybe 3 or 4 hours left. And he's like, "Turn around." He's like, "Y'all have 3 days grace tomorrow in Kansas City, Missouri." And we're like, what the fuck? So Eli was actually heading home. So we were all in the van. Eli was heading to Houston in a different vehicle, because we were just going home to chill for a couple days, right? Well, so the next thing we had booked was going to be Blue Ridge. So we had about a week off. Well, nope, that changed. So I called Eli. I'm like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Stay there. Stay at the truck stop. We're going to pick your ass up, and we're going to Kansas City." So on Thursday, we show up. We get added the day before on this 3 Days Grace show, right? And then, so next thing you know, we're playing in front of 2,500 people at this place where they have the NFL game all over it's this big hangout for the official Kansas City Chief whatever. Yeah. So that was that Thursday. And then we had Blue Ridge a couple days after that. So we end up driving out to Virginia. Oh, wait. Let me back up. This week was funny. Okay, so we end up going to Rocklahoma, right? And so we get there, and of course we have a lot of friends and everyone going to that and playing that. So we show up and we're hanging out, I guess we didn't have the official Rocklahoma credentials, but we had all of our band, all of our tour laminates. So we're next thing we're side stage for Nothing More, who we just played with a couple days ago. And then all these other bands are like, "Oh yeah, we want to thank our friends, from Texas, watching us side stage, blah, blah, blah." And then we're side stage watching Evanescence. And then we drive on to Virginia after that for Blue Ridge. And yeah. And all while our van was breaking down that week too. It was just it was a ridiculous week. It was weird. It was good and bad, but yeah.
I completely had forgotten about the Nothing More show and the 3 Days Grace show as well, but that adds so much more into it. And I love that story of just, you guys are driving home, everything's all good, and immediately you get the opportunity to go and open for 3 Days Grace on short notice, and it's like, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to drive home and take those couple of days where we go play Blue Ridge, or are we going to get our ass over to Kansas City to make it happen? Yeah. And with no thought process, it's just, we're doing this shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was great. Made a lot of new fans that when we came back on the headlining tour, they're like, "I saw you on 3 Days Grace." And we ended up having a really successful headlining date there in Kansas City to follow up that. So, yeah, man, it's been a crazy year. And then obviously after that tour or whatever, we did the headlining run in November and all of that. So
I think the biggest question I have really around that is, how did the whole entire headlining run turn out, specifically because, I first had you on the podcast back in June of 2019. So I remember when you guys were really, young, as a band. You guys are still young, but infancy stages of a band,
Yes.
and seeing you get to the point where you guys are, you know, opening for some of these larger bands on some smaller tour packages, and then all of a sudden seeing you guys do stuff this year, seeing you guys be, you know, all over Octane through Jose Mangan, just constantly plugging the band like crazy, opening for From Ashes to New for 2 months. All of a sudden you got, and then Adelaide's Way, you got Hinder, you've got this random thing with 3 Days Grace, you got the one off with Nothing More, to your own headlining run. Like, it's been amazing watching that trajectory. So how did the whole entire headlining run turn out? Because I want to make sure it turned out as best as possible.
Yeah, dude, it was good. Obviously, we didn't hit the entire U.S. I think we covered probably about 2/3 of it with the tour, which is cool. I mean, our first time really going out there and doing a full-scale tour of just our headlining shows. So we kind of went in not knowing what to expect. And a lot of the shows really blew us away. I know the first 2 nights we started in Destin, Florida, and Orlando. Both of those were 150 people plus each night. There was just being able to show that Kingdom Collapse can draw without the support of a bigger band above them, can draw on their own. So, like, you know, we offer value to whatever tour package we would be thrown on. And it helps build that case to why Kingdom Collapse should be on this tour or that tour or whatever. You know what I mean? It just like we now have legit data and ammo to show that this independent band can hang with the big dogs. So
that was the thing I was hoping for the absolute most out of that tour, because again, seeing your guys' growth, you guys work so well with a lot of the bands that you've gone on tour with. I mean, I saw you 2 straight days on that From Ash to New tour with Fire from the Gods, Blind Channel, Above Snakes, and it was just
so fun.
Just a consistent way through. Just the energy was always there between all 5 bands, and you guys just fit in so perfectly with that energy, with your style of music. It just all felt great, and I really was hoping for, you know, as time goes on, you got the one show with Nothing More, you got the one show with 3 Days Grace, you got to play Blue Ridge, but then going out on your own, now when it comes to, you know, hey, we're trying to get on some of these larger tour packages, like really, really big ones, you know, can we pull people for ourselves? Yeah, take a look at what happened when we went out by ourselves. We were able to pull a good amount of people. We have that raw data for you to see. We have the ticket sales for you to see. So why not add us to your show, 3 Days Grace, for a whole entire run? Why not add us, Papa Roach, as you just go around the whole entire United States?
Right.
I mean, why not do that?
Yeah, it was really just this year was definitely a year of paying our dues and showing the world that we mean it. Like, we're here to play ball. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna just sit at home and release new, you know, music. It's like we're willing to bet on ourselves. We're willing, you know, to risk going out there and losing money potentially, but you know, we believe in ourselves. We believe in our music. We believe in this band. We believe in Kingdom Collapse. You know what I mean? So we went out there and all year we busted ass, and yeah, I mean, it's incredible how much just touring the whole year has grown the band, along with, you know, continuing to release music, you know, and it's, you know, has Octane, Spotify, and doing all that. And, you know, just releasing music and touring like a band, you know, historically always does. Right. So yeah, man, it's been good.
I'll say, yeah, because even in today's day and age where the internet and a lot of the streaming stuff and distribution online through social media definitely has become much more of a major player, the fact of the matter is you know, people can just stream these songs one time and then that's it. Or it just kind of goes on a playlist for them and it just kind of goes back and forth. Sometimes just gives background music, but the numbers do show there. But when you actually go on the road and you see the people that are willing to spend their hard-earned money to come out, watch you play, support you, that speaks much more to the viability, not only of the band's music, but the impact you guys are having on these people's lives, on their, you know, on their, what they're listening to, so that when, you know, bigger tours come around for you guys and they're like, hey, can King Collapse pull? Look at what has happened. They've been able to pull. They have the support of a lot of people from their inception. They've got a lot of support from these other bands that have had them on for whether it's a whole entire tour or just a one-off show. Plus, with SiriusXM Octane still being a major player in how a lot of these songs are, pushed, and sometimes how bands get really, really exposed to these people based on just constant plays. You guys have had that pretty much since like 2020, and it's shown to be such a great thing. And you guys still just continue to shine through on that with every new release.
Yeah, it's really we've always been a band that really focuses on our music. I know, certain bands do things for certain things or for different motives, but ours has always been just writing just good songs that really relate to people. Not any kind of gimmick, not any kind of mask or makeup or weird fucking outfit or whatever. It's just like, it's about our music. It's about the meaning behind our music. You know what I mean? And hopefully that helps people through tough times, or encourages them or motivates them to, not stay stuck in those situations. Right. That's why I listen to music, ever since I was young. I really connected with rock and metal because of that element. And that, if it didn't mean that much to us, we wouldn't be out there. We were only home probably for a month total this whole year. So, I mean, we would not be out there sacrificing our norm, any sense of normalcy to, if we didn't believe in it. So, yeah, it's good to see that it really is paying off.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you guys would have played just 20 more shows this year throughout the whole entire year, you would have played one show every 2 days on average. That just think about that. I mean, if you guys are not as fully invested into this mentally, physically, financially, if you guys do not fully believe in yourselves and fully believe in the power that your music has, then you wouldn't be going out 162 days out of the year. You wouldn't be having these potential opportunities come to you and then just going gangbusters on them right at the drop of the hat, like the 3 Days Grace thing. Similar to like what you guys went through in 2021 with Welcome to Rockville when you guys got back. Because I remember it came out of like the week beforehand. It's like, oh shit! And you guys just took it and ran with it.
Oh yeah. I mean, we mean it, So if we get less than 24 hours heads up, doesn't fucking matter, dude. We'll be there, man. Like, and it's not like, oh, we're desperate. It's like, no, dude. It's like, if it's a good opportunity and it moves the needle and it pushes us closer to where we need to be, we're not afraid to do that. You know what I mean? So, we're out there doing the damn thing, right? So, in 2023. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I'll say it's definitely not out of desperation. It's out of the fact that when people are trying to grind for what they want to have in life, and people are going after their dreams, and people are going after what they really want to go after, they're going to go at any opportunity that they can that's going to be presented to them and fruitful for them. So it doesn't mean that you're going to take every single opportunity that comes your way, but if something awesome really comes your way and you only have a limited amount of time to make that decision, you guys are going to end up making that decision and going for it. It's not a desperation move. It's we want to do this. We believe in ourselves and we have a chance to make something great out of this. Hell yeah, we're doing it.
Exactly, dude. That's really where we're at as a band, is like, just taking everything case by case, and but we're gearing up for a big year. I will say, regarding like the Rockville and Blue Ridge thing, I won't say which festivals, but we are confirmed already confirmed for 2 big festivals this year. I won't say which ones, but we're already locked in 100% for both of them. And our agent's working on tours right now and all that. So, you'll see a lot more touring and festivals from us. You will see finally the full-length album drop in 2023. Been out in Nashville over the last, went out to Atlanta to write a couple tracks, and then immediately flew to Nashville to record those and a couple other ones we had ready with Kyle O'Dell. He's done, he recently had a Billboard #1 with, Nita Strauss and Dave Draymond, Dead Inside. So he did he produced, wrote, mixed, mastered that thing. He's done Saul. He's worked with Motionless in White. I think he wrote Killing Me Slowly by Bad Wolves back in the day. And He was originally the guitarist of Failure Anthem. So yeah, so he he's really cool. It's a great fit, and it's exciting to hear these songs. I think with a top-notch presentation, production-wise and recording quality. It's for the first time I've tracked vocals on a $3,000, $4,000 mic. It's like everything else I've recorded here at the house, and with the hair right here, SM7, it's like $400, but it's done the job so far. But it's cool to finally record in a legit studio and kind of do everything top notch now that we have a little bit of a budget to work with. So
a little bit of a budget, a little bit of budget, more funding to work with, and again, just hearing what's going on for you guys in 2023. First off, I mean, you're saying you're already locked into 2 festivals with your agent continuing to look at different tours. So that's already got me excited with the fact of, okay, what festivals are you guys locked into? Are you locked into one that I'm thinking you might be locked into? Because I am planning on going to, it looks like 2 this year. So I'm hoping at least one of those festivals is that day. If not, I hope it's both of them at the same time too, because hell, more Kingdom Collapse is something that's fantastic. Let's be real.
I'm going to keep it vague, but it's one near you.
Okay, now my mind is spinning and just spiraling right now because I'm thinking there's like right now there's like 5 or 6 that are going through my mind right now, but I'm not going to say which ones. So if anyone, if you guys are listening and you know exactly where I'm from, I mean, you could start guessing. Just start guessing, but
yeah, just start guessing, but I'm not going to tell you.
Exactly. And finally, because we were talking about this, I think since the one we had with you in 2020 with the new record, but 2023 full-length record. Finally!
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where naturally we've had to go back to the drawing board a little bit on our release plans, like just because there's been so much growth with the band. If some of these things hadn't come along, we probably would have released a album earlier, but it wouldn't have been as grand as this one's going to be. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, the thing is, like, we've probably had 8 or 9 different record label offers in the last 2 years to where, yeah, we'll talk. We'll see, what their vision for Kingdom Collapse is, if they even have one at all. Most of them don't. They just want to make money. But then, really like seeing if, it's like, we're not naive. We're not ignorant. It's like, so, if someone wants to talk, wants to bring a deal to the table, we'll hear them out. Right. And that's what we've done. It's like, when someone's interested, we'll look at the deal, look at the, agreement or whatever. And that's kind of stalled some things or delayed some things, as far as a full length, but we have never stopped releasing new music. You know what I mean? It's like, we've released a lot of singles, a couple of EPs, and now you're going to get the full length. So,
and with getting that full length too, I think that's going to be one of the major things for 2023, that when it comes to a lot more people getting to notice you guys, that's going to be a major push, just because still when it comes to bands releasing, music, it's album releases are still getting a lot of press from a lot of different publications. They're getting a lot of a lot of eyes and ears on them all across streaming. And thinking about SiriusXM Octane as well. Every time you guys drop a song, again, Jose Mangan is plugging that shit like crazy. What's going to happen when the first Kingdom Collapse full-length album comes? What do you think, Mr. Metal Ambassador is going to be going after? He's probably going to lose his shit in a great way.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's just like, if it had released before, like, it wouldn't be as grand and as exciting as it is now. It's like, now we're jumping off from a higher level with this album than what we would have had the luxury of doing, a year and a half ago or whatever. And plus, I mean, we've just been on the road the whole time. So a lot of the writing just has had to be done since we've been home. You know what I mean? So, like, was gone the last 2 weeks. We knocked out 3 tracks, recorded, tracked them last week. Going back next month, another 3 tracks, and the album's done. So in 4 weeks from now, the album will be completely done. At least completely recorded, and then just finishing up the mix and mastering, and we'll have that thing in our hands.
And
So.
then when it comes to release date, of course, you guys have, like you said, 3 more tracks still have to record. So release date time, we know it's 2023, but that's going to be something everyone's going to have their eyes and their ears open for that first full-length release from Kingdom Collapse. I mean, I know I am, because I've been waiting for this for probably at least, 3 years at this point. I was like,
Yeah.
when's it coming? When's it coming? I know it's coming, because every single time you guys release a single, I'm just like, this keeps getting better and better. And when you guys released Save Me From Myself earlier this year, that was the one that made me just kind of sit back and say, like sound-wise, production-wise, these guys are ready. Like, for sure, there is no doubt in my mind, they're ready.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's cool. I will say, like, the last year or so, at least vocally and sonically with some things, like, I've pushed myself in, to be a little more diverse. Because like Kingdom Collapse, everyone knows, like, we started out just a little more just all, just going for it, aggressive, fucking yelling, screaming, loud in your face, right? Well, you get, it's nice to have some dynamics, right? So Break Free, Save Me From Myself, you heard some of these other ones that show a little more of a moodier nature, and some of that, still with that chorus being loud and big and in your face, but showing more dynamics, showing more dimension to Kingdom Collapse. And hopefully that's more of what you'll hear on the new album. You'll hear everything you want to hear and I have always heard with Kingdom Collapse, but maybe there's some new shit too that's like, damn, I didn't know they could do that, or damn, I didn't see that coming. You know what I mean?
Oh, I absolutely know what you mean. It's, think about like the biggest band probably from 2022 when it came to a release. I mean, the one that always sticks in my mind is Bad Omens with Death of Peace of Mind. When they came out with that, because even myself as well, of course, were there a couple tracks I liked right off the bat? Absolutely. I love the heavier stuff. So Artificial Suicide was definitely something I gravitated to. Nowhere to Go was a huge track for me as well. But the rest of it, there was so much more diversity on that album, which was like, huh? I didn't know that they could do this. And even, it took me a while to get into the album, but now I listen to that thing, I'm like, my God, this is an absolute masterpiece. It's when bands are able to do stuff like that, where you are able to feel that core sound and their core being who they are at the middle of every single song, but they're able to branch out in so many different ways where you get to experience so much more from the band, so many different sides from the band, so many more different emotions. That's when a band goes from, we're just consistently with the same sound, or we're just consistently good with whatever we do. And those are the bands that are going on tour, headlining tours, and selling out tours every single way they go. I'm not saying shows, I'm saying tours. Bad Omens has done it this year. In 2023, Spirit Box already sold out their whole entire tour. I mean, come on. Those bands have done stuff like that. And you guys have the ability to do something like that as well.
Hell yeah, man. It's it's exactly like that. I would like to think it's a very well-rounded batch of new material. You know what I mean? You got the heavy stuff, you got the riffs, you got the big choruses, but you also have some other different elements. And then all the production is just fucking top notch. It's just presented. Kingdom Collapse will now be presented in a way that, all maybe major label releases are presented with their recordings and stuff. So we're excited, man. Like, honestly, it's one of those things where I'm anxious. I'm stoked because we spent all week recording it, and then now I'm like, damn, I just want to fucking jam it now. Like, I just waiting. It's like, and then Christmas is approaching, all that stuff. But like it'll be nice to just sit back and enjoy the music and listen back and be like, fuck yeah, and get ready to play it live and all of that. So
now, again, 162 shows in 2022. Are you guys trying to hit that same number for 2023?
It may end up that way. I think last year at this stage last year, we didn't even know we had the From Ashes to New tour coming up. So the thing is, like, I don't even know. We very well could, because last year we didn't know. The only thing we knew about was that Hinder run, which was like a week with Hinder in January. Like, at this point, we didn't have From Ashes to New locked in. We didn't know about Adelita's Way. We didn't know about Attack. We didn't know about any of it, but it just all seemed to kind of fall in place, you know? So already knowing about 2 big festivals, I feel good. You know, I feel good about 2023 because a lot of these things, you know, just happen to fall into your lap when you're not expecting it. So,
oh, that's absolutely true.
yeah.
Even think about it with those 2 major festivals as well. What other bands are going to be playing at those festivals? On top of that, what kind of runs are they going to be going on that are going to include those kinds of festivals? And are you guys going to be a part of that as well, based on the fact that, hey, you guys are playing the same festival, so...
Exactly. They, you know, that's one of those things when we see some other bands that it might make sense to do a run out to the festival or back, or do a run around it. You know, we might do that. So, but I can't confirm, you know what I mean? We just got to see.
Just got to wait and see. Well, how about this? So when 2023 hits and you guys are, you know, booking tours and whatnot, I'm not asking for any specifics. I'm asking for your wants, desires, your wish list. What bands do you want to go out on the road with that viably is like, oh yeah, this could easily happen. This could for sure happen. And it can, and of course, I mean, you guys are going to become out the full length album too. When it comes to being on tours with some of these larger bands, it's not out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, well, first one, hands down, our friends and Nothing More. Also being from Texas, we enjoyed playing with them out in Albuquerque, and it's always a fun time hanging out with them. So yeah, Nothing More. Second, I would have to say Fire from the Gods too. Like being out on that From Ashes to New tour with them, it was really fun just hanging with them and just getting to know everybody. And it's a small world, you know what I mean? It really is. Like you come to find out, oh, this guy works with this guy, and oh, this guy's on this crew, but also drives for this band, and it's like, dude, it's just such a little community, and it's a group of friends. And you know, Fire from the Gods is definitely that to us. They're our buddies. So you got Nothing More, Fire from the Gods, you know, Seven Dust. I think that's one where, you know, it would be a good fit for sure. Their fan base, that would be awesome. You know, to do some tour dates with them. We hung out with Morgan at Blue Ridge, and he knew who we were and everything. And so it was cool to see like a lot of these bands that, you know, we grew up listening to now know the Kingdom Collapse name. It's really surreal. So, yeah, them, and obviously like Memphis Mayfire, hung out with them at Blue Ridge and all of that. And that was cool. And, yeah, so, I mean, I would say, Nothing More, you know, Fire from the Gods, Seven Dust, Memphis Mayfire. That would be cool. Obviously 3 Days Grace. That was great. A good fit. Breaking Benjamin. Stuff like that, man. I think we're kind of like a newer, fresher kind of, up and coming band of that kind of realm of rock. You know, 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, Papa Roach, I don't know, Shinedown, whatever you want to consider, but maybe a little more aggressive, a little more angry. I don't know, at times. But yeah, I mean, there's so many bands I'd like to tour with.
To be honest with you, I mean, when you said Seven Dust, my face just went like weird, like revelation style thing going across, because I remember you guys are coming out, like I said, you guys come out with a new album next year. You guys, or 2023, you guys talk about it. You know who else is coming out with a new album in 2023? And who's going to go full Seven Dust mode in 2023? Seven Dust. So,
oh yeah,
like the planets are aligning on this, and sonically, fan base wise, it makes so much sense. And with, you know, knowing the Seven Dust fans as well, they're going to be incredibly receptive to your sound. Everyone's going to show up there amped up for Seven Dust. You guys are going to take the stage, and everyone's going to be like, holy fuck, we got another band we got to follow. Damn.
Yeah, dude, that's the goal. Every time we go out there, our intro track plays, we walk out. That's what we're all thinking. We're like, let's make some new fans, man. Like, let's fucking go out there and steal them.
And you guys do that all the time. I mean, I still remember both shows you guys played in Wisconsin for Matches to New tour. That's exactly what happened. Everyone's just like, whoa. Like, this is like every single both those shows, it was Above Snakes goes on, and all of a sudden, all right, they're gaining some fans. You guys go on, and all of a sudden, you guys are gaining more fans. Here goes Blind Channel, and it's just like, God damn, like, this is awesome. And then people know Fire from the Gods or Matches to New. It's just like, okay, this tour package is awesome. We're following all these bands. We're not missing out on this shit.
Yep, exactly, dude. Exactly. Yeah, it's we like going out there and just hanging with everybody and making new fans, hearing people's stories. A lot of people came up on these tours this year and were like, hey, I just want to let you know like how much Unbreakable meant to me or my family and all this stuff. And probably met 7 or 8, well, maybe like 6 or 7 people that now have Unbreakable tattoos on their arms, and there's 1 or 2 Save Me From Myself tattoos out there too. And before this year, that was never a thing. So it was pretty crazy to see that our songs truly mean that much to a lot of fans. So that's what I strive for when I write lyrics now, is writing stuff that means something. So
it's just an amalgamation of the impact that you guys have had on these people. Not only that, but just you guys believing in yourselves, you guys putting out the best possible music that you can with all the passion in the world. In 2022, it really paid dividends to show everyone, hey, we can go out there and play with the best of them. We can absolutely kick ass. We can make new fans everywhere we go. And we can even go on our own headlining run. And now we have that raw data to say, yeah, we can do this. So going into 2023, that raw data is there. That momentum is there. You guys, ever since I've known you guys, that momentum has just continued to carry over from year to year to year. So there is no way in hell that momentum is not going to be carried over through 2023. It for sure will. And with the new album coming out as well, I mean, man, I can't, like, I'm already like, I'm psyched to talk to you at the end of the year again and just be like, God damn, what happened? How did this all happen? This is amazing.
That's how I feel about this last year. I mean, none of it could have been predicted, So that's the exciting thing for every year. I mean, these things come across your, the desk or whatever. And it's like, well, fuck, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get in our van and trailer and fucking take off. Let's do it.
Yeah, so when it comes to King Collapse in 2023, where might they end up across the United States? Who knows, but we know it's going to be a lot of places. Where else they can end up? Very well, they could end up in Canada. They could end up at some dates in Mexico. You never know where, but something crazy is going to happen. But the things we know for sure, 2 confirmed festival dates. Which festivals, though? Ooh, you're going to have to wait to find out. And there's the album that's going to come out in 2023. When is it going to come out? Ooh, you're going to have to wait to find out, but it's happening. It's coming. It's coming.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, it gets me excited. Well, Jonathan, as we bring this podcast to conclusion, I always like to give you a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug whatever you want to plug, promote whatever you want to promote at the end of the podcast. So, my friend, the floor is yours.
Yeah, we want to thank, the Kingdom Collapse Army. We want to thank our agent, Imran, our manager, Larry, everyone that has supported us, whether that's coming out to a show, streaming us on, Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, whatever you use. All the support, the votes, the requests for Octane, buying merch, anything. It means a lot. And, it's not something we could be doing without our fans. I want to thank you, Kevin, for having us on, or having me on for what, 4th or 5th time now?
It was the 5th.
Dude, yeah, 5th time. And not the last for sure. So it's one of those things, man. We're just grateful for another year to be pushing Kingdom Collapse further and further, closer to where it needs to be. So, yeah, man, that's all I got.
And that's perfectly said. So now it's time for me to end this podcast with 3 specific things. First things first, Kingdom Collapse. More shows coming up for 2023. With what bands? Maybe another headlining run on their own. They've got festival dates that are confirmed. We just don't know which ones yet. And a brand new one coming out in 2023. You're not going to miss on anything with them. So go to the description of the podcast where it says Find Kingdom Collapse Online. Links for every single social media platform and where you can join the Kingdom Collapse Army on Facebook as well. Where you can watch their music videos, where you can stream their music, download music, buy their music, and buy some merch as well to support these guys because, hell, if we've been on the podcast for 5 times, you know we're damn big supporters of them, and you should be too. So it's all down there for you. Click the link. It'll take you wherever you need to go. I'm doing all the heavy lifting for all the research for you. All you got to do is click the link and then take it from there. Now it's time for number 2. Sir, the last time I saw you play live was in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin at From Ashes to New Tour. After you guys got done playing, I made good on my promise of first rounds on me by not just getting one drink, but I had a whole fucking case of beer for you guys.
Oh, yeah. I remember running out in the fucking cold. We ran out to your fucking car and got that case, man. And I could not fucking stand how cold it was. What was it, like 0 degrees?
I think it was maybe like 15.
15, same shit. Because it's like a whopping like 45 out here right now. So, yeah, man. I just remember freezing my ass off. And we're like, let's go. Yeah, man. It's always a blast when we're hanging, man. And so we'll definitely get some more drinks at the next show and some more beers and whatever.
Because I was gonna say at the next show we're running it back again.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe not. Maybe it won't be that cold though. Maybe it won't be as cold.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be above freezing.
Hopefully it'll be above freezing. But number 3 is, Jonathan, you know I cannot end this by saying goodbye because, again, you're the guest I've had on the most amount of times in the podcast. We're definitely making sure you come back again. I mean, it's a guarantee. All on top of that, you know I'm going to see you at a show at some point in 2023, and you absolutely know I'm going to continue to support the band in any way I can. So this is not goodbye, my friend. You know this as always. I'll see you later.
See ya.
Woo! Well, folks, that was my interview with my friend Jonathan Norris from Kingdom Collapse. Once again, Kingdom Collapse is poised to have a gigantic 2023. 2020 for them was big. 2021 was even bigger. 2022, the biggest year yet. And 2023 is going to top that. So how do you make sure you stick along with this stuff and follow Kingdom Collapse? Very easily. Go to the description of the podcast under where it says Find Kingdom Collapse Online. Links and labels for their social media accounts for you to follow. Links to where you can watch their YouTube videos, links to where you can find them online to make sure you get tickets to see them play live when those tours and those festival days are announced, where you can go and get some merch to support them so you can tell all your friends that you're cool as all hell because you have Kingdom Collapse gear, and where you can stream their music, download music, buy their music, and when the album is ready to pre-order that bad boy because we want to make sure that this album is as big as possible for these guys. They absolutely deserve it, so we're making it happen. Let's go. Description of the podcast, find Kingdom Collapse online. Links, labels are all there. Also, make sure you're following along with the Chord Progression Podcast. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for your viewing pleasure. You can also watch these podcasts on YouTube, so go hit that subscribe button on YouTube, or you can subscribe and listen to the podcast on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and many more. If you're already subscribed to the podcast, I want to give a gigantic thank you to you as well. And if you just hit that subscribe button, thank you once again. If you are not subscribed to the podcast, please reconsider, please. If not, thank you for stopping by anyway. You're always welcome back at any time. Thank you, Phoenix Fitness, for sponsoring this podcast. 20% off using the code CPP20 at FNX.com. Link shipping on the podcast. Jonathan, my man, thank you so much once again for being on the podcast. You are always my favorite guest to have on this podcast. I still remember when someone asked me, like, who are your top 5 favorite guests of all time? And I ran through it, and it goes like Jonathan Norris, Joey Arena from Outlier, the guys in Caskets, Joey Verre from Varsity, and good old Benny Scholl from Avoid. But Jonathan Norris is always on the number 1 slot. So you're going to have an incredible 2023. Kingdom Collapse fans, get ready for an incredible 2023 from the band. It's going to be awesome. You're going to be along for the ride. On that note, that's going to be for today, guys. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one. It's up to the big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah!